Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map, and this is a review of the Wisdom Seekers Tarot. I was approached by the publishers, the Watkins Publishing house, and sent a review copy of this deck. So I'm excited to share it with you, and you can make up your mind and just check it out. I will show the whole deck so you can get a really good idea what this deck is about. So you get this deck in this cool pull-out box. It's a little bit reminds me of the Dreams of Gaia tarot. This thing, you know, it's not very sturdy, but the deck fits in nicely. There's one extra white card, and you can actually keep the deck in the box. I definitely will, because this box is really steady and beautiful. And this deck is created by David Fontana. It's a pip deck, which is really interesting to me. And I also think that nowadays the pip decks and Marseille style decks go through a big revival. So more and more people are interested in those decks and don't mind the pippish minors. But let me start by showing you the chord cards, because this deck has quite beautiful chord cards. I really enjoy the depictions of them. They on the sweeter side of things. Let me just zoom in. But hello, who wouldn't like the Queen of Wands with a unicorn? Oh, please. So the chord cards represent humankind in any deck, this deck as well. And the functions of the chord cards are as follows. So princesses, which you can see, they represent body, they stand for body. And I watched Kelly's Driven Story review of this deck too, and she was like, well, they seem to be losing clothes. But I think the princesses in this deck show the boobies and show the beautiful, you know, the beauty of the body, and that's why they are shown kind of half naked or naked. So you've got Princess of Cups, which is beautiful blue, you know, watery, young, beautiful Aphrodite-like. Princess of Pentacles, so beautiful. The little, you know, she's creative, she's musical, she's scientific, she's talented, you know. Princess of Wands, she is the one that nurtures and gives life and cares for life. And Princess of Swords, like this kind of Amazon-like woman, strong, powerful, with, you know, lots of strength in her mind as well. So there is this balance in genders. So there's 2 female and 2 male cards. Then the princes, which is interesting, take a look that they all have horses, but they don't ride them. Whereas the kings, they also all have horses. That reminds me a little bit more of tough kind of depictions of kings. And they fully ride them. They fully can use and utilize the animal and kind of use the animal to help them manifest things. So princes stand for mind. They obviously have to be on the mission, like knights, and they are the ones who, you know, go off and go on adventure and check things out. So I loved how they don't sit on the horses, but the kings do. So obviously you can see some kind of hierarchy in the chord cards. The queens stand for soul, so they nurturers of like water of the suits. So this is the Queen of Swords. I love how the queens are shown, and I really, really enjoy the color palette of this deck in general, but also this kind of quality. I don't know if that will show the quality of paintings. It's really beautiful art. As I said, it's a little bit more on the sweet side, like a little bit like, you know, the book illustrations, and you can see like the pencils kind of style. It's gorgeous, kind of vivid, at the same time not too, you know, not too saturated, not too kind of kitschy. So the Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands is amazing, isn't she? She's got this awesome unicorn. Isn't it beautiful? Obviously she has wands around her, and this, you know, nurtures the inspiration. There is the Queen of Pentacles, the earthy queen, and the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Water. And the kings, as you can see, they all on horses, and they all can, you know, rule and inspire and are powerful being on horses. You can see the quick decision-making ability, you know, the rulership of the King of Swords, this inspirational, fiery, even though in this deck, I will get back to it, fire is actually air. I mean, the wands are air. Here, I think the, you know, the fiery king, the King of Pentacles, slower, regal, steadier, and the King of Cups, a little bit more emotional, you know. So yeah, the court cards are really beautiful. These are the backs, by the way. That's how you, so you can, if you want, you can chop the white borders, but I wouldn't actually do that because I think they don't disturb me. Okay, so let's just move on to the minors. And this is a pip deck, as I said, and this is not a Marseille type deck, but it's a pip deck. Yes, so it shows no kind of pictures on the minor arcanas, which is not true to the end with this deck because it does have a background. And I actually use the background to help me to interpret and use the meaning of the background or the details of the background to help my interpretation of cards. So I'm not solely relying on numerology with this deck. And also, if you really think that you cannot use this deck because you only know Rider-Waite-Smith system, I can show you that you can actually use Rider-Waite-Smith meanings with this deck as well. In most of the cases, you might need to work a bit harder on few cards, but it's solely possible. So the first, maybe let's just speak about element association, because David Fontana changes elements in this deck, which is kind of fascinating. But, you know, in the book we have the four suits, Wands, Cups, Swords and Pentacles, together with their colors, respectively red, blue, yellow and green, represent the four elements and directions, respectively. So Wands, air and north, water, west, fire, east, which would be the swords, fire and east, and earth and south would be two pentacles. So what do you think when you look at those cards? So the book says that, yes, but then you look at Wands, which is supposed to be air and north, and Swords, which is supposed to be east and south, and fire. I see the volcano and fire on Wands, and I see kind of clouds, yellow, which I connect to intellect with, you know, speech and stuff like this, with on the sword cards. So that's again my next point. Don't worry that you have to switch elements in this deck. It says so in the book, but the cards kind of show the regular, most popular elemental associations, because we know there are a few. But in this respect, I totally use Wands as fire and Swords as air, and the pictures back me up. So my only critique about this book, which is not big, but shows the minor arcanas in my favorite way. It shows all the aces together, all the twos together, you know, and so on and so forth, and gives some fascinating ideas about using the numbers. based on Agrippa, based on Pythagoras, and the old traditional mathematics. And it's fascinating. And David Fontana is a great writer, but he gives us only like minutes, like really tiny little snippets of information. And also my other critique would be, so first would be that I would love the book a bit more meaty and give me a little bit more information about the use of the cards. My other critique would be that the cards are not described consequently. So about sixes, you can read exactly like David exactly describes what's on the card using, the fallen sword, the hanging sword, so you kind of see what he's talking about. And then in some other respect, he just describes an idea or the number, but it has totally no association with the picture. So I would love this to be a little bit more consequent throughout the book. But other than that, what I love about this book is that it actually inspired me to go and search for more information, and it gives very interesting and unique approach to numbers. Also, quite a few really wonderful ideas about like additional meaning you can get out of a card. So in this book, it's not a big book, but you get a few different chapters on symbols and working with tarot. It's very basic, but as I said again, basic in quantity, but quite interesting and sparked my interest personally. And I'm kind of scholarly, I love to investigate, so I will definitely go forth and check a few ideas he puts forth in his book. So he describes each major arcana, and then he moves to minors, and as I said, he puts all the fours and all the fives together, and I love the way of showing it. And then he goes into court cards, gives all the keywords for each of the court card, and gives a few spreads at the end. So fairly basic book with some really interesting, not well researched. They probably David researched them very well, but he gave us only a little snippets of his knowledge. So you are probably more encouraged to go and check it for yourself. So here are the aces. And there's Ace of Water and Ace of Wands, and you can look at them in pairs. So Ace of Wands would be, this male force, ignition, this fertility, this wanting to, erupt. And this is a mountain and volcano. And look at the Ace of Water, which becomes a valley, and it's receptive. And we know that water and fire are on opposite spectrums of the same axis. So this is mountainous and like giving and pushing and wanting to, release. And water as like wanting to receive, peaceful, flowing, letting it in. So that's wonderful. And here it's more like protecting and, kind of guarding, or maybe sometimes destroying, versus like compelling and closing, protecting in some way as well. So not as visible and as on these two, but they kind of can go into opposites. So these are the aces. I just show you all the, so now here we have all the twos. So Two of Cups can be easy used with Rider-Waite-Smith, and it's not that I encourage you to use the Rider-Waite-Smith meanings, please don't get me wrong. I know it's kind of like a no-no, but if you feel that this is the only system you can still use this deck. So this is Two of Cups. You can kind of see two people who love each other, and want to be together, and all is really lovely. This is like Two of Wands, a sense of possibility and opening, and something is brewing in the cauldron. I kind of love this depiction. Two of Swords, two crossed ideas. You might feel stuck for a while, but you can either use them too. You can use the meeting point. So very similar. Two of Pentacles in here. Sorry, in the book it says it's perfect harmony and balance. But you can also see it as two ways of creating something, two ways of expressing, two ways of maybe connecting, combining two things. 3, I always laugh at this. This is like everybody's on the table. The party is great. We all having fun. 3 of Wands, like 2 creative ones, and this 3rd, which is just ready to, go forth and multiply. 3 of Swords, maybe like too much pressure, and too much isolation. You excluded, you feel maybe outside of happenings and stuff. These are my interpretations. These are not taken from the book. I'm just like playing with what I see and showing you how you can use also the background to help you, if you're not so strong in numerology, let's say. And I always love to use the background. That's what Marseille Tarot taught me, like it's to use the background, whatever you can get on the card to help you with your interpretation and seeing. So 3 of Pentacles, quite creative, beautiful, each window is seen and you can kind of feel like you can cover and create with all your potential. 4 of Cups, we have 4 standing cups, but the ship hasn't left, the water starts to be a bit rocky, you can go on and play. You have 3 creative ones which you have used, and you can see that like you've mastered this, and then you have a 4th one which stabilizes maybe in some way the execution of this stuff. 4 seems a little bit like closed circuit, doesn't it? And here 4, we outside, we can see the blossoming and growing, and you can play with 2, and it's quite stable and beautiful. 5 of Cups, in the book it says we have 2 sweet cups and 2 bitter cups, and the 3rd one you never know. But there is a sense of stability in some way, but also a sense of 5, it's human, so our emotions have to be put on the table, and if we like stack them on top of one another, we have to learn how to express them so they can flow, and allow the enlightening light in. So this is how I would play with it. I'm just going to go a little bit faster. So this is 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords. The swords are up, ready for protection, ready to fight. Like kind of pointed and quite aggressive in a way. Here we have Pentacles. It's this enclosure, so you either have to protect your energy, be wary about your energy, how much you give out, how much you give in. Maybe if you scatter your money you will lose them, so kind of goes with the 5 of Pentacles in general. 6 of Cups, harmonious, open, a victory kind of door. Here was interesting, the fallen sword, something from your thinking didn't work, something from your thinking did work, and this is kind of like a traditional stable approach, so you can play with this one. It's a little bit different. 6 of Pentacles, give and take, how much you do. 7s, 7 of Cups, 3 Cups, creative, coming in, 4 stable. So this is always the 3 creative ones, 4 stable. 4 stable ideas, 3 new ideas which can, break the stalemate. 7 of Pentacles, you can play 4 and 3, or you can play 2 and 5. It's very, for people who are like me and who love peep decks and who are not afraid to, like play with what you see. You can find cool ways to read with this deck and to read with peeps in general. 8, I already see, like 5 was cups on the table, and 8 I see like they on the lookout. So you open up and you still maybe stuck your emotions, but you are encouraged to like look out. There's something more, something else on the horizon for you. 8 of Wands, I feel like this like dancing Brazilian kind of woohoo. I can see it like a person. Each of the wands is like a person or like a snake moving. So it's this movement. 8 of Swords, you can kind of see the woman from the Rider-Waite Smith stuck in the middle, and the enlightening kind of light, which can help you to, you know, not feel stuck and work with your thinking. 8 of Pentacles, quite stable. 9 of Cups, beautiful, supportive circle. 9 of Wands, like a little ladder, you can climb on it. Maybe you're tired, but you still, you know, have just this few more steps to gain maybe a better view. 9 of Swords, a little bit hard, you know, it's hard to cross that wall of swords, but you do get support with awareness. 9 of Pentacles, very stable, beautiful, sharing. And 10 of Cups, like overflowing. 10 of Wands seems quite harmonious. It might be maybe tiring because it's so much fire, but still like beautiful kind of base, and solar plexus chakra seems to be like empowered. 10 of Swords, very kind of protective, all the swords up, and maybe it's, you know, you're ready to fight and die. And 10 of Pentacles, you see like the Tree of Life, yes? Yeah, Tree of Life, so perfect manifestation. Malkut. So these were the minor arcanas with a quick intro, and why I showed it to you like this, it's because I wanted you to know that you can really play with the minors. You don't have to get stuck with the book or think, oh my god, I don't know how to do it. Just play with your fantasy, just, you know, enjoy it. And let's just finish with majors. The majors are beautiful, and they kind of feel like, you know, like book illustrations. So yes, they are on the sweeter side of things, but the color palette and the feel of the deck, it's really beautiful. You know that there was another version of this deck. It was called Truth Seekers Tarot, and it had like golden gilding. I think Anthony has a video to show it. But this one seems like a, you know, like a normal or working deck, without too much like boom, but a really soft, warm feeling to the majors as well. So this is the Fool, you know, pretty original. I mean, pretty traditional. It's going off as a clown. But all the elements and all the symbolism which you would expect in the majors, they are here. So there's a beautiful magician, like a little bit fantastical high priestess. Gorgeous colors, don't you think? Like warm and not too kitschy. The Empress and the Emperor, these two quite static, fairly traditional Hierophant, but you can get also the marriage, maybe because we have the woman thrown in. The Lovers, a little bit Marseille type. There is definitely the Choice, which I like. The Chariot. The Strength is 8, which, you know, I would prefer it to be 11, but it's like in Rider-Waite-Smith. Love this Hermit. How cool is he? Oh, feels so kind of familiar. So that's the Hermit. Love the Wheel of Fortune also, because you get this sense of movement, don't you, in the wheel, which is cool. And Justice, finally she looks kind of quite pretty. Hangman, Death, cool, I like it, lovely colors. And Temperance, Devil. The Tower, also traditional. The Star, kind of flowy, beautiful. Lovely Moon. The Sun, it's a little bit more like Marseille, also with the wall, which kind of shows, you know, the limits of your awareness in a way, which you have to cross. The Judgment and the World. So I hope you got a good sense of this deck, and let me know what you think about it. I'm curious to know, and I hope you will enjoy it, because it's really quite a interesting deck to play with. It's a little bit different to all the other decks that I have, and being myself, I really enjoy a little bit of you know, originality in my collection. So check it out and let me know what you think. Thanks. See you later. Bye.